All right, hello. Welcome to Adventures in the Lollygagging. We are playing some Hunter the Reckoning tonight. We are continuing our Chronicle Your City Lies in Dust, and we have a hype train already. Thank you, everyone who has thrown out subs. Aaron pushing us over right there. Thank you. Ashley with the new cheering method, which is creeping me out. And then John McSuda and 12 to Twitch, thank you so much. We really, really, really appreciate it. But we're continuing. It's episode 7, and we kind of had a sort of a transition episode last time session where we kind of sort of closed down a couple things from the first half, started to open up some new trouble, and we'll figure out where we're going to go tonight. There's and we have a new NPC for me to annoy Melissa with, so that's always fun.
Sure do.
Yeah. So before we get into that, why don't we go ahead and just introduce who all the hunters are. DJ Quiver, thank you for those bits. I think that's we do the bonus die is that we were doing, I think, with it. So Melissa, who cheats at everything, is going to go ahead and be in charge of that. Ashley, throwing out
I'm unlocking
little
emotes.
I know, I'm seeing that. You got the top hat. You got I remember the top hat. That's old Lollygaggers podcast top hat right there.
That is.
That's some old stuff right there. We should dust some new ones off at some point, I think. Oh goodness. All right. Long, tell us about Alvin Tao.
Yes, I'm playing Alvin. I'm a judo master. I've got a small family, my own dojo, and my drive is curiosity behind the supernatural, what they're here for, why they're doing the things they do.
That's excellent, and you will have some interesting things possibly tonight to investigate. You also had a bit of an issue at your dojo. I'll kind of touch on this more in the summary, but yeah, you had some drama in your backyard. Everything keeps happening in Alvin's backyard. First, the trouble with his kids, and now his dojo. It's a shame. Do you watch Cobra Kai, by the way?
I haven't seen it, no.
You should. It's research purposes. It's totally accurate. I'm pretty sure. All right. Next up, Ashley, tell us about Elaine Graves and why we should be sad if I kill her tonight.
I'm playing Elaine Graves, and you already took one of my eyes, so I feel like if I also died, that would suck.
There's plenty more to take.
But she is our she's supposed to be the stealthy one and like super sneaky and stuff. I'm not really so great at that, but I'm working on it. But she's got some cool perks. I have the Watching Big Brother perk now in all access, so I can bypass the electronic locks and stuff now. I can manipulate digital surveillance footage.
That's awesome.
So
nice.
I got some fun stuff to work with.
That's really good stuff. That's actually pretty useful. Would have been useful probably at the end of like the last big arc too.
Would have been really useful.
Of course, you were already taken.
I was trapped, so I couldn't help. I had it then, but I was sleeping. I was dreaming.
Listen, you survived. Okay, that's the thing. You yell at me for taking your eye, but you survived.
That was exciting.
I think I took it easy.
Yeah,
that's me.
That was exciting.
Okay. Next up, we have Quixote Rust. Go ahead, tell us about Rust there, Aaron.
I'm Quixote Rust. That's what they call me now. I don't really know my name because when I was a kid, I was 9. I mean, I think I was 9. Granny Longlegs, demon spirit, crawled down my throat and wore my skin like a puppet. She tore my whole family to pieces and then made me sit in the gore until they took me away. I spent over a decade locked up with her riding my mind, only letting me out every once in a while just so she could see how I suffered until a brand new psychiatrist came in and she believed me. Dr. Freud, not related apparently. I don't know what that means, but she tells it to me every time. Believe me. And she got Sister LeBlanc in, a soldier in the only war that matters. And they pulled that thing out of me. And now I'm a guerrilla warrior on the streets, never staying in the same place more than once, fighting with my squad to take out all the monsters.
Never staying in one place, never using the same phone twice, really just making sure there's no way to track Quixote. Oh my god.
They can't find me. Never again.
I like how every time you go to introduce him, you just like you just kind of do like a Christopher Lloyd thing as so great.
He gets into character.
It's just flips the switch. Oh, it's so good.
What's our phone counter at?
So we're up to 2 in this
He's
job.
on his 3rd phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just in like the last 24 hours. It seems like. Okay. All right. And then finally, Melissa, tell us about Maria Baum.
Yes. So Maria, who received the nickname Boomer last episode, so she is now Boomer Baum. She is an inquisitive. She is a plumber by day. She has a mentor that had gone missing that she's looking for. She's got a cat, Annie. She's got the van, so she's good with the fleet edge kinds of things. She's got a drone, so she's kind of good with some of that stealth and surveillance and all that kind of stuff. She can weld and she can bullshit with the best of them.
I didn't know you had a cat. Did you have a cat?
Do.
All right.
Do. It's during the monsoon. What were we
Totally
doing during
forgot
the
about this.
monsoon? She had her
Right.
orange cat named Annie.
Note to self: hurt the cat. That's what I just wrote in my notes. Okay, so I
I
think
was
that's
gonna
about
have
it.
a dog, and then I was like, Jeff would take this from me.
I wouldn't hurt a
don't-
dog. Are you kidding? I'd
That's
hurt a
actually the
cat.
safer
I'd hurt
way
a
to go.
horse. Yeah,
That's
dog.
true.
Dog, you're all right. I think. Yeah.
Nothing bad will
Uh,
ever happen to that dog. It will have plot armor in every single thing we do.
Just make sure that dog doesn't like me more than it likes Melissa. Otherwise, it's gonna have a violent end. Right? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, never tell the storyteller you have a pet in a World of Darkness game. Totally agree. All right. So last time, I'll just kind of hit some highlights here. Elaine, you were using your stolen computer from when you were in the Valley MedCorps to you kind of like hacked back into some of their servers, got some information. Do you remember what you learned?
I learned the name of the first victim.
Yeah,
which-
Kadir Mana. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do
Do you remember the context of how he?
So he was a prisoner at Alhambra Correctional Facility.
That's right.
He was
Yep.
there for some sort of medical condition that required
Mhm.
constant care.
Mhm.
And he was voluntold to be a subject trial for ambistral ducenadride or something.
Close enough.
Which
yeah,
is for
ambistral
organ
ducitinide.
transplants.
Yeah.
Ducitinide.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And-
Yeah, exactly. It was for try to reduce organ rejection. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. You got it. You also, I think, didn't you see? I think you saw a new logo or a new company thing or something. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it was being tested, not yet approved by the FDA. It was tested by a variety of companies related
Mhm.
to reference to Medcore or Valley-wide Medical, but it goes back to a parent company, but it's never spelled out. It's just a logo.
TDG. Yeah,
TDG.
exactly. Okay. Let's see. Next up, Alvin. Like we said, you discover that one of your judo students horrifically beat another during a sparring match, and the instigator, when you did some basic research, appears to have been using some new street drug. It looks like they found some evidence that they had like in their genes or something like that. You had a couple conversations with the cops to try to kind of slow things down, but that didn't go so well. And there seemed to be a little bit of skepticism thrown yours and Sensei Joseph's way, but and I think your company also had a little bit of trouble when all the parents showed up and stuff and everything to pick up their kids after this incident. Rust, you found a safe place for Brock and Shelby up near Prescott at a place called Sacred Heart Church. You met a Father Percy, who you presumably is a member of the Society of St. Leopold. And you notice that Shelby has been faring fairly terribly, actually. But Brock and Elaine both seem to be okay, no longer suffering from ill effects of the Eye Thieves attacks. And then, Maria, you met Rena Cooper, who was snooping around Katya's home, your mentor, 20-something hunter for revenge, you eventually learned, RV Revenge, which is a gig, hunter gig company. And she's apparently the daughter of someone Katya used to hunt with, and apparently Katya was trying to help Rena with this gig that involved elderly deaths that RV was apparently tracking. They're a data collection company, and their data analyst and closure counselors kind of rushed the gig, it seems like, as they just sort of gave some general idea about like, oh, vampire maybe, question mark, and then not enough to really go on. Katya went undercover and had a contact with Isaiah Stratton at Whitehall Advanced Care Clinic. And then Rena started scouting a retirement community called Sunset Trails. Since then, Katya has gone dark, and the name that she had when she was sent to this place is no longer registering. Also, Isaiah has gone dark. It apparently doesn't seem to work there anymore. And Rena mentioned how the community at Sunset Trails was kind of odd. There's just a bunch of old people having fun, it seemed like, but they also were like really, really active. So yeah. So anyway, we'll presume then that like your kind of planning phase works out. So a couple questions: who's going where? I know we were talking about splitting up the group. Who's going where? Who is Rena going with? What kind of gear or resources are you all looking to get before you leave? And what time do you want to head there? So who's going to Sunset Trails luxury retirement community?
I know that's where Coyote was going, because they thought it best I not go to another medical facility. Apparently, I have problems with authority. So, and I think Rena was going to come with me. She's awful pretty.
Okay.
But not very nice. It's very difficult for me to wrap my head around that dichotomy.
No, she's not very nice at all. No. But mostly just not nice to the boomer. Maria Boomer.
I was going to tag along.
Okay. So we've got Alvin, Rena, and Rust are all going to Sunset. Okay. Then I guess the other question then for you, is there any specific gear you're looking to kind of bring along with you or anything like that you're looking to do to prep for that?
Well, I can't drive, so Alvin, can you drive us?
Of course.
And I'm carrying everything I own.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't quite do that.
Don't you have a motorcycle, Alvin?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I meant I can't carry everything I own.
Okay. All right. So, are you going to get? I assume
I can't do a 3-person motorcycle. It's kind of weird.
No, you can't.
I'll
It's
have to
okay.
get, like-
Rena's got her own. She's got her own ride. She also rides a motorcycle. You're good.
Okay,
No problem.
nice.
There. Okay. All right. So we'll presume that the three of you head out. Sunset Trails is out west. So you will take a little time to get there. Are you looking to go at a particular time of day? We're going to say, just because I don't remember that it was around midday you all were having like your debrief. Are you trying to go during the day? Are you trying to go at night? Is there a preference there?
Well, I think if we're trying to get these people to talk to us, we should probably go in the morning, because I mean, they're old. They're like even older than anybody else I know, and you know, they may be asleep early.
That makes sense as well.
Okay. Okay, so you want to head there in the morning. All right. All right, so we'll say that the plan, like you guys kind of work out a plan to do this, so it kind of times up. We don't have to worry about getting that too perfect. And we'll say you're heading out there. Elaine and Maria, same questions to you. Is there anything in particular you're looking to kind of bring with you in your travels to Whitehall? Yours is a little up north. I remember it's like North Phoenix, Scottsdale area. So is there anything in particular you're bringing with you? Is there a specific time of day you're looking to arrive?
I don't disagree with the thinking of going early, especially visiting hours and all of those types of things.
Yeah. We'll definitely go during visiting hours. I can't think of anything that we might need to bring this time in particular that's like out of the ordinary.
The only thing I was thinking of maybe is, and I'm assuming we could get this somewhere, is something along the lines of like a little recording device, like a little like bug or something that we can kind of have.
Okay.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I don't know how to hack myself, but maybe like a thumb drive or something that I can, like, if I can get access to a computer, like get put in the back or something.
All right.
You know?
Yeah. Considering some of your backgrounds there, I think you two would probably not have too much difficulty getting sort of thumb drives or getting some basic surveillance equipment. You probably have something basic. It wouldn't be anything too grandiose. That would probably require more of a roll, but something you probably would have something basic, just kind of like how your safe house and such has like basic equipment, basic weapons, etc. You probably have basic listening devices or something like that. That's probably fine.
I was thinking probably something that someone could probably just buy somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think you're fine.
My drone's not really gonna work for me too much.
Put it underneath your arm as you're wandering.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Since you're both kind of going around the same time, I'm just rolling to see who goes first. All right. So Alvin and Quixote, you meet up with Rena. We'll say you agree to a time relatively early in the morning, and you head out west. It is fairly far west, so it's from where you all have been kind of hanging lately, it's a good 45 minutes or so west of there, but it's still within the kind of Phoenix metro area. But you kind of look it up. It's easy enough to find. Has a professional looking website. Lots of very friendly looking people. When you head there, the retirement community is fairly sprawling when you get there. You learned a few things by kind of looking it up online. It is luxury trailers. It's sprawling, and you also notice that there is a wall, like those cinder block walls that we see, that kind of surrounds the entire complex. It appears to kind of back up onto desert, kind of off to the north, and it's not necessarily bordered on any side by any kind of other businesses. You do notice nearby that kind of the two closest neighboring businesses within about a quarter of a mile or so. There's a cremation center, Mott Family Funeral. There's a Wells Fargo bank branch, and there's a diner as well that you can tell as you kind of drive past early in the morning is not too busy as far as you can tell. But when you pull up to the actual site, you can tell that there appears to be a leasing office that sits outside of that large wall that kind of skates around, and there's a kind of the main entrance is kind of on the south side of the complex, and you can tell that right where the kind of the wall weaves around towards that entrance, there is like this gate. You can see a couple folks coming in and out as you sort of case the joint a little bit. You can see people coming in and out. Looks like they're using card key scanners and stuff to go in and out. The only building that seems to sit outside is this what looks like a leasing office. There is a secondary entrance as you kind of drive around on the eastern side, but also that one, there's no kind of exterior building, but it has those gates. It has it has that same keycard access. Both of you are fairly alert and aware individuals. I would say that one of the things you do notice that is kind of odd, especially for people living in the valley, is that these cinder block walls seem surprisingly tall, to the point where they might, they don't look consistent with the types of cinder block walls you see across almost every neighborhood across the valley. They seem just a few feet higher. But we'll say you kind of do a quick scan. You probably take 30 minutes or so to sort of drive around, kind of get a feel for the place. And then we'll say that the three of you can make a decision. How do you want to approach this?
I was thinking find like the visitor's office or whatever office, kind of introduce ourselves, and maybe we can go with, you've got some old folks that you want to retire here, Russ, and then we want to have a look around, see.
That's a good idea. We could pretend like I didn't murder my parents, and they're almost old enough now to come here, and we're looking to get them a trailer. Not me. I mean, hey, Reva, it wasn't me who murdered my parents. It was just my body.
So
I want you to understand.
She's
that.
just sort of like chewing her gum, and she's like, uh-huh. And she just continues to chew her gum. Well, yeah, you two can go ahead and do that. They would recognize my face. So I'll hang back, and you've got my number. Killed your parents, huh?
No. Granny killed my parents. She just used my body like a meat puppet. And my brothers and sisters. And one guard, but that was years ago in the facility that I lived in for a while. She didn't like him. She said he smelled funny.
She looks over towards Alvin. See, this is why I prefer solo gigs. But
You'll get used to it. He's a good kid.
Thanks, Alvin.
Good kid.
Okay, let's go in there. Yeah.
Interesting definition of good. But yeah, you guys have fun. I'll be out here. Call me if you need me. And she just gets her phone out and she starts kind of flipping through it a bit here and there.
Alvin, okay. Do you think I should have told her that I'm an instrument of the Lord?
Maybe next time.
All right.
Okay.
So you go into the main office outside. No problem. There's a couple spaces for visitor parking, etc. You go in. It's open. You see that there is a fairly large kind of round reception desk, and there's a woman that's sitting behind it. You can see she's probably in her 50s, mid to late, kind of stocky, dark hair, Hispanic. And you can see that she's got a little name tag. It says Eloise. And she sees you all come in, and she's kind of got a big eye, like her eyes kind of get big. And she says, morning. What can I do for you two young strapping lads?
Hey, my friend here was looking for a retirement area for his parents. Is there any way we can have a tour or look around?
Do you have a recommendation?
Oh, you mean from somebody else who lives here?
That's correct. Exactly. Yeah.
No, we just saw the website, and my parents really love trailers.
Ooh. Well,
they've got a lot of money.
A lot of money, huh?
Relatively speaking. I mean, they're
normally
not like multi-millionaires, but my dad retired well. He didn't die when I was young.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear your father is alive and well. That's wonderful. Well, see, normally we have a closed community here. It's private. We tend to have to, we make recommendations on who comes in here. It's not necessarily open sales. We control who we lease lots to, and unless you have a specific recommendation, I don't know if the management company will allow me to let you in.
Well, how about this? we go in and talk to the residents and see if one of them will recommend my parents.
Ooh. Well, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought. However, that would also could be construed as maybe harassing them in some way, and they're all very private. They part of the attraction of Sunset Trails is privacy, and if some very delightful young man, I'm sure, comes knocking on their door in the morning, they might be a little upset that we would allow such people in, because normally we don't even let packages in. There's no solicitation. All of that's funneled through the office. Again, one of the perks we have here.
So last idea then, I go in with a sign that says, please come talk to me about recommending my parents, and then they can approach me.
You are just an absolute delight. You've really brought a smile to my face this morning. However, I'm afraid that is just not going to be possible. Now, if you would like to leave some contact information for your parents, I'm sure we could potentially set up some kind of virtual call and maybe do a virtual tour. We could potentially have them meet with a few of the residents. We could work out that way, and kind of more direct. Don't get me wrong. It's wonderful that you're trying to help out your parents. What kind of child wouldn't want the best for their parents? What kind of child wouldn't want them to live a healthy, long life? But normally we like to work directly with who will be taking up residence in these trailers.
Well, I guess that makes sense, Eloise. Alvin, do you have my parents' contact information?
Of course. I'll give them sort of like my burner as a fill-in.
Okay, and what are their names again?
Oh, my mother's name was Martha, and is Martha, and my father's name is Thomas.
I see what you did there.
Okay. Martha and Thomas, who are very much alive.
Oh, yes, they're very much alive.
Excellent. Well, we'll go ahead and we'll do, if we can. And I'm sure you gave like a last name and everything too. We're going to go ahead and we're going to contact them on your behalf. And normally what we'll do is we'll run a background check to make sure that there aren't any issues in terms of finances or criminal record that might be red flags for those living within the community. And I'm sure we'll be hopefully we'll have some good news for your parents soon. And then you can we could give you a visitor pass and you can come visit them anytime you like.
That's awful nice of you. Is there a place we can get a cup of coffee around here?
Well, there is, if you just go down the street, and she kind of points back the way you came, like down the street, Vicky's Diner, excellent coffee. That would probably be the best place around here. I have a pot here, but it's not fresh. I brewed it when I first got in, and Vicky's would probably be much better suited for you.
Well, I want to thank you for being so pleasant with me this morning. You have a nice day.
You too. Take care, both of you. She kind of waves, and just you notice like Alvin, as you're like walking out, she's eyeing you guys down. Something like you can feel her eyes in your back as you're kind of opening up the door, moving out into the visitors parking lot. You look back, she's like still waving like through the glass, kind of watching you all as you go. Okay,
Hey, Alvin, how'd I do?
You did surprisingly great.
They showed us a movie when I was feeling saner, and it seemed like everybody in the movie's parents were named Thomas and Martha. So I figured that was the best bet because I have no idea what my parents' names are.
Yeah, that background check they're going to run might bring up a few red flags. But
Oh, I think she's a bad person, and I think we're probably going to have to kill her. But
We have to see on that. But for now, let's head to the diner. It is nearby the retirement area. Maybe there's some old folk there.
maybe
Okay.
we can steal one of their key cards.
All right. So the two of you head down the street to the diner. We'll say Rena maybe joins you. And then we'll cut over to Elaine and Maria, who you arrive at the Whitehall Advanced Care Center. There are multiple locations around the valley, but you're specifically going to the North Phoenix one. When you arrive, you notice that it sits kind of on the slope of a fairly large mountain, kind of this like sort of rustic desert landscape on the mountain itself, and you can see that the sort of the main entrance kind of weaves up from the main street, and it's probably a quarter of a mile or so before it actually flattens out and reaches the facility itself. It's very much removed from the street. On the east side, you can see that there's like visitor parking. It's uncovered, probably half full at this time of day. And then off to the west, you can see that there's covered parking that's all numbered for employees, mostly full, but you can tell that there's a handful of spots that are empty. Gorgeous desert landscaping all the way up, saguaro cacti just kind of towering up in the sky. You can see all these desert flowers in bloom, everything left and right. You can tell that it's sort of a whole complex as you get there, and you're looking at some of the signs that are kind of directing you to where you want to go. There could be 3 large buildings. There's like the main building, which is like 5 stories high. It's the largest one here. There's a west annex and an east annex, and some of the signs seem to direct you depending upon what kind of care. So like outpatient care and physical therapy heads to the west annex. From what you can tell from like the directories, whether you're doing it online or looking here, the East Annex is dealing more with like hospice and palliative care. And like the main building seems to be like long-term non-palliative care, where seems to be like most of the residences. You can tell like in front of the main building, there's this like circle and there's like a bus that's there, like you can tell that has like the markings of Whitehall Clinic on the side. Looks like one of their kind of key buses that might take some of the residences on field trips or something like that. Yeah, you pull up, and what is your strategy?
So I think we were going to go in relatively straightforward initially. Elaine, right? We were going to just be visiting our folks that are here and only go with subterfuge if we had to.
Yeah, see what we can come across.
Okay. So you're coming to visit your Uncle Luther, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And so Uncle Luther is like here because he's got memory issues, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the strangest of coincidences, your neighbor, Mr. Ponder, was also delivered here as well. Okay. So you go inside. No issues getting in. You can tell there's a very grand entranceway. Almost looks like a very high-end like hotel. You can see like this huge reception desk, multiple people working. It's right there in the center. Behind, you can see this long, gorgeous hallway that has like these kind of glass walls that seem to lead out to some kind of center courtyard where kind of in between the triangle that's made by all 3 of the buildings coming together. You see there's like this whole host of elevators off to one side. There's like this little fountain area. You can see that some of the signs are directing you to like the cafeteria. It's kind of listing the different companies that are here, like local coffee shop, local smoothie shop, local sandwich shop, and everything. And then you can see that there are a variety of workers moving around, coming and going. But when you come into the central reception desk, you see there's 2 folks sitting there. It's kind of a large, somewhat heavy-set, pale woman with like red hair, kind of tied tightly in a bun. She's got kind of pinkish or peach-colored scrubs on. You can see sitting right next to her is a kind of a slender, like dark-skinned guy with a kind of high fade. And he's the one who kind of speaks up when he sees you coming in. He's like, "Can I help you?"
Yes, hello. I'm here to visit someone.
Okay, sure, excellent. Do you have the name of the patient?
Mr. Ponder.
Do you have a full name for the patient?
His first name is Reginald.
Reginald Ponder. Okay, are you a relative of Mr. Ponder?
I'm not, but I should be on the visitor list. I
Okay.
will be assisting with payments.
Understood. Okay, here 1 second. Let me go ahead and you hear just clickety clack, enhance, enhance. And it's just 1 second, one more. Oh, I see. Oh, he's new here. He just recently joined us. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Excellent. Looks like son Steven. Yeah. Oh, yep. Yes. What is your name?
Elaine
I need a full name, please.
Graves.
Elaine Graves. Yes, you are, in fact, on the list, Miss Graves. Okay, well, Mr. Ponder, here go. Let me get you a visitor's pass. He kind of reaches down, grabs just like a basic little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and make sure that's there. It's visible, so no kind of questions while you're wandering about. But he is on floor number 3. He's in room 313. Elevators are right behind you. You are free to visit for as long as you like. This isn't a hospital, so we don't have very finite rules, but you're welcome to have some. If you would like to bring him down, we have plenty of recreation activities over in the West Annex. If this is your first time here, we have, you can see behind you, kind of points back down that large hallway. We have the garden. If you care to get some fresh air with Mr. Ponder, I'm sure that will do him good. Excellent.
Thank you. His son did mention he was asking for me.
I don't have that information here,
Okay.
but that's wonderful.
Do you know who is in charge of his care, or would I be able to find that out in his rooms?
Let me see here. Well, it looks as though kind of clicks, kind of goes through some things. I see. Oh, Dr. Burlow. Yes, Dr. Burlow seems to be his attending.
Is he, or are they available to be spoken with today? Do they speak with family, friends?
Well, normally, let me see. You are not official contact, but Dr. Burlow is not here currently.
Okay. I'll have to plan a visit to come in with Steven then. I appreciate all your help.
That would be ideal if you had family with you. Being a non-family member, there is a limit to what we can provide in terms of information, but you're welcome to visit.
Yeah, I understand. HIPAA, all that. And Elaine will nod and be like, well, thank you, and step aside for Maria.
So
Okay.
I'd like to think that Maria kind of came in a little bit late because she was kind of grabbing a smoke outside before. And so like Elaine was kind of having this conversation. So Maria is going to walk right over to the woman.
So if
Who
you
is
were
at the
having a
desk?
smoke, first of all, I don't want to gloss over that. You would probably need to do so at a significant distance away from the actual hospital.
Understood.
And you would probably spy that there are like a handful. You can tell there's a handful of workers there. A couple folks in scrubs, a couple folks in like orderly gear. Some of them just looks like groundskeeper crew and stuff like that. And they're kind of off on the opposite side of like the employee lot. You can see them huddled around this kind of small area where there's this kind of looks like a palm tree. They're kind of huddled over there smoking, but you can tell no one is anywhere near the building when they're smoking.
Okay. And so then, yeah, I will wander over because kind of assuming that's kind of the designated smoking area, understanding there's rules for these things.
Sure.
Just kind of wander over and typical summer Arizona small talk. Crazy monsoons lately.
And they kind of look up at you and then, yeah, and no crazier than any other, I suppose. You
Just gonna-
you got like physical therapy or something here? You thinking of moving in?
Visiting family.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. We're kind of on break here, so
Just making small talk.
Sure.
Can I look at some like any badges, names, in case I have to name drop somebody that works there. See if
Yeah.
I can see any names on any of the badges.
Sure. One of the badges has a name Peter Popor. One of the guys wearing scrubs. You can't really see anything on the fellow that's kind of dressed up in maintenance gear.
Okay. All right. And so I can't see Peter's job title.
No, I mean they definitely have the look of either like an orderly or nurse or something like that. You would think.
Okay. Does the maintenance guy have like a tool belt on him, or is he kind of pushing anything around with whatnot?
Definitely has like these dirty cargo khakis. Has a tucked in collared shirt, long sleeve underneath. You can kind of get the vague scent of gasoline coming off of them. You can certainly looks like to you. That's probably someone who kind of maintains the landscaping around here.
Okay. All right. Well, I certainly didn't mean to interrupt your break time. Appreciate the
Okay.
chat. Yeah. Drawing a blank.
Okay. Okay, so you turn around, I guess. All right, fine. All right, so you go back inside. I didn't even really try very hard to turn you. When you just... All right, you go back inside.
So when
Okay.
when I go inside, I'll go straight to the woman that was sitting up front.
Okay.
And so I'll just kind of walk in and be like, how's it going, Miriam?
To who? Who are you doing this to?
The other woman, because you said there was a man and a woman at the reception.
Okay. Yeah. And you go up. You say, "Hello, how's it going, Miriam?"
Miriam, yeah.
Okay. And she looks up, and I assume she has like a name tag or something that you're reading off, and
I'm also assuming that if my uncle is here, that I have been here before.
yeah, sure. She looks at you like a little kind of taken aback, like you kind of tell that she does not recognize you. She's like, it's going fine. Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm just here to stop by and see Luther.
Luther who?
Baum.
Luther Baum. Okay, sure. 1 second, and kind of same process basically, but eventually you kind of get your visitors. You're like kind of a visitors thing. You're directed up on the 4th floor in the same building.
And Maria was like, you sort of see sort of a look on Maria's face. Yes, Chad, I do not have any smoker etiquette for small talk. So you'll see kind of Maria she's just going to kind of walk over to Elaine and just be like, the last time I was here to see Uncle Luther, Miriam and I had a whole conversation about her son, Porter, and his baseball and how he was doing. And what? Just seemed like she just forgot all about that conversation.
She's talking to you, Ashley. Why don't you bring up the baseball of the sun with Miriam? Like, you go to Elaine and you ask about it. Ask her about it.
I was reading
extra
chat.
ranks and awkward. Okay, all right. So do you guys go and visit your selective relatives and such?
Yeah, like
Okay.
I'm assuming if
All right.
depending on how long it took her to smoke, Elaine probably wasn't even there. She's probably already
Probably
up
not.
in the room.
Maria's talking to some other random woman who's like, I don't know who you are. My name
Yeah,
is not
sorry.
Elaine.
I thought I was gone.
Security. Okay, so we'll say the two of you kind of go off visit. Okay, we're gonna cut back away from Awkward Town and go over to Alvin and Rust. You're in this diner. It's kind of mid to late morning. We'll say Rena's with you. 3 of you are sitting in a booth. It's a very kind of old school diner feel to it. Like it certainly doesn't look like something. It looks like something kind of cut out of time in some ways. So it definitely has that kind of classic like bar, and you can see there's a handful of folks that are kind of at it, and they're drinking their coffee and like newspaper. There's not the three of you, including Alvin, are probably the youngest people in here aside from whoever's working. And I would say there's probably about a half a dozen other folks in here. It doesn't seem very busy at all.
That we'll post up on either a table or the bar counter.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, here, Russ, order whatever you like. It's on me. And then we'll just kind of scope the place out, see who's just either minding their own business or up for a chat.
Okay. Go ahead and roll awareness, intelligence, I guess, as you kind of just sort of give the place a once-over. Minimum of 2, but if you do better, maybe you'll get some more things.
Okay. I can roll 5 here. A 3 success.
Okay, 3 successes. Okay, so you notice... okay, you're going to notice, I would say, 2 things with that. You notice that there are 2 sets of people here that you think are probably connected to the Sunset Trails, and the main reason is because you come in and then you see another group kind of comes in after you. You're kind of drinking coffee or whatever, scoping out, and you notice like you can just see coming down the street there is a golf cart, and it's driving in this direction, kind of parks in the actual parking lot itself. And you would know that those types of vehicles don't have a ton of like distance to them, and so more than likely it's probably somebody from the actual unit. And so it's a man and a woman. It's kind of hard. Like you kind of take a look at them as they wander in, and it's sort of hard to pinpoint their age. As you're watching them, to the point where you're almost gawking or staring at them as they wander in, and they're kind of given a booth to sit in. Like they certainly have kind of graying hair, either all gray or some of it has streaks of white. But you can tell they look very tan. Like their skin looks very kind of like you don't kind of have that sort of it doesn't have much wrinkle or wear to it. And considering this is Arizona, like it kills your skin, and it's kind of noteworthy to the point where it's almost alarming in some way. The other person you notice is up at the actual bar or counter, I should say, and you can tell that they actually are from Sunset Trails because they have what looks like a polo shirt, and they have a Sunset Trails logo on, and it looks like they work there.
Russ leans into Alvin. Who do you want me to approach?
How about these old folks? They seem to just come from the retirement place themselves.
I like it. And Russ jumps up because he's had a couple cups of coffee, and he marches himself over and stands right in front of their table. He's got his hands in front of him. He's got a smile on his face, but so his hands are in front of him, but their palms out, and he's pushing against them to see if they have any reaction.
Okay. All right. So you come up, you stand in front of them. One of them kind of turns towards you, and they look up at you, and then they like, okay, 2 eggs over easy. Coffee for both of us, of course. No bacon or anything. Rye toast. And do you have fruit? And then so that's like the woman kind of giving her order. And the man kind of comes in and does the same thing. And you don't feel any resonance coming off of you.
Those sound like great orders. I might order the same thing. I don't know if they have any fruit though. The coffee is good. We were told the coffee would be good. I haven't had a lot of coffee before. It is good. My name's Quixote. Sticks out his hand to shake the gentleman's hand.
He kind of hands out. Hello, how you doing, Quixote? My name's Robert.
I'm Robert. That's a great name. Hi, Robert. Listen, I hate to bother your breakfast. And I know it's very rude of me, and it's But I've got a question I have to ask you, sir, if you don't mind. We came out here, my friend and I over there. See the two of them over there by the bar. They're getting ready to order breakfast.
Sure, I see. Definitely see them, Quixote.
Yeah, good. They're best pals. I don't know her very well. She's not very nice, but he's one of my best pals. But listen, we came out here because I saw the website for where you live. I saw you come up in that golf cart, and I thought that's where my parents should live. And so I came out here to see about getting a place for them out here. And Eloise, very nice lady, said I could not talk to anybody. But I saw you coming from there, so I thought I would at least ask you if it was a nice place, because she said she would set up some kind of virtual call with my parents. Thomas and Martha.
Okay, that's a lot, Quixote. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And then the woman. Oh, Robert, leave him alone. He's just trying to do right by his parents. It's wonderful. Quixote, it is a wonderful place. It is honestly, we've lived in. Oh, I would say, a dozen different places over our time, and this might be the nicest. It's not, it's modest, of course. It's not very large. When you hear the phrase trailer, certainly that conjures up an image, and it's much better than that, of course. And the community, oh my gosh, the community. So active, so many activities. Everyone is so nice to one another. We're always doing things together. The facilities here are amazing. We have an enormous pool, the clubhouse, and you can hear Robert just kind of coughs, and she just sort of like skips past, like not even really paying attention to him. Oh, and I don't know if your parents are in good health, but we have on-site medical care, an on-site clinic. Are you kidding? It's like we're in the 1950s again. They send out their medical examiners, their professionals. They knock on our door, make sure we're okay. Like we don't have to go wait in line at a Walgreens or something like that, or wait 3 weeks to get an appointment with our primary care. If something's wrong, we can just go right there. It is absolutely delightful. This was the best decision we've made.
That's amazing. And so the doctor does he like work for the community, or is he like a private guy that comes in? Because my parents have some medical issues, but I just figured I'd have to pick him up and take him to, not really bad or anything, but I mean, they're in their 60s, not like you guys in your 40s.
No, what? No, I'm 67. Robert's 72, and you look at them; those ages are just not adding up to you, Quixote.
Wow, you guys look. I mean, I know it's rude to say things like you look amazing. That place must really be good for you.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's just fresh air, active living, a supportive community, and just the peace of mind of safety. We look after each other. And I'm sure when your parents get here, they're going to love it too.
That's fair. And I saw that there was really good security. I mean, I worry about them. They live in Phoenix now, and you know how some parts of, they live in a good part, but still, there's crime everywhere. But I saw those gates and key cards. And do they have like other security there too to protect the?
Absolutely. Of course they do. We have
like a police force or your own security guards
Yes, we do have security, of course. Yes. They
that's so good.
24/7. Absolutely. They're delightful people as well.
Are they a private company, or do they work for the community?
You know what? That is a good question. I am not sure. I would imagine that, well, I just don't know, to be honest. I don't know, Robert, do you know? And you can tell like this whole time, Quixote, he's just kind of staring daggers at her. I don't know. Does it matter? What's the difference?
Well, I'm sorry, Robert. I got hurt in the war, and sometimes I don't think really well, but I know it's really important to make sure your security is good, and I just like to look into the companies that are going to take care of my parents. I apologize for interrupting your breakfast. That was rude of me. My friend Alvin will buy your breakfast, actually. He said he was going to buy mine too. So when the waitress comes over, just have her put it on his bill.
Well,
I'll
thank you.
tell her. Thank you.
Quixote.
Thank you. That's very nice of you. He goes back
Okay.
to the bar.
All right.
Alvin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alvin, you got to buy their breakfasts and mine too. And what they're ordering, I want to order 2 of those too for me.
He'll be confused, like, oh, gotcha, yeah.
You're the best, Alvin.
Okay, so were you doing anything? Did you want to do anything else, Alvin, while you're here?
Yeah. Well, at the bar counter, maybe this worker,
Okay.
maybe I'm up a bit. Like, hey, get your morning started? How's it going?
He just kind of looks over. He looks pretty tired. You can tell he's kind of drinking some coffee, and he says, it's good. It's good. Just kind of got to get another cup. You know, it's one of those mornings.
Oh,
Got a lot on the to-do list.
Work nearby. I got my friend here looking to get a place.
Yeah, right down the street, Sunset Trails. Yeah.
What do you mind asking for? What do you do there?
Oh, maintenance and things. You know, handyman stuff, fixing little of this, little of that.
Does it get pretty messy? A lot of breakdowns.
I mean, it's a pretty big community. You know, lots of people there, and lots of little things that need to get fixed from time to time. You know, changing out locks and, you know, painting this, painting that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Why are you so interested?
Oh, my friend here is looking to put his parents in, and we're just trying to get a little know the place a bit.
No, well, I can't help you there, man. I'm sorry about that. They don't let recommendations come from employees.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, it's good talking to you. He kind of starts to get up. You can see he kind of takes a last swig of his coffee, goes to sit down. You can see hanging from like his belt. You can tell he's got one of those key card things, like on an extended. I don't know the name for them all, but it's like an elastic beam connected to his belt. Kind of puts down a couple bucks, and he's like, "See you later, Cindy." And the woman who's been serving, like, "Okay, see ya." And he kind of, well, good luck. And he starts heading back out. Anything else, Alvin?
No, I'll let him go for now.
Okay. Let's kick back over then to Elaine and Maria. So you both kind of do you separate and kind of split off and go look at go check in on your family members and friends and such?
Yeah, because I don't know. Do we want them to know that we're like together, or?
We can connect if we need to.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because Elaine texts you like his room and floor number, so you have like a general idea of where she's at, but she'll head up to Mr. Ponder's room.
All right. Elaine, then we'll start with you. You go in Mr. Ponder's room. You can see he's there. He's got the television on. Looks like Price is Right. Drew Carey is calling people down. Wheel is spinning. He's sitting up in a chair. He's got a big old smile on his face, but he's got a bandage on his forehead. And he's got slippers on. Bright, big window, light kind of swooping in. You can see there's like a kind of this welcome package on the table nearby. It's got this plant, and he sees you come in, and his grin gets even wider. Elaine! Oh God, it's so good to see you. Oh, come here. Oh, let me see you. It's been forever. He seems
Elaine,
a little out of it.
Elaine gets a big old smile, and she's really happy to see him.
Oh, come on, come here, come on. And then like, oh my God, what happened to your eye? What happened here? And he kind of just reaches up and starts poking at your eye patch, like completely breaking boundaries.
Oh, and
What the heck happened here?
yeah, I got jumped,
You got jumped?
Yeah. I heard you did too, though.
I had an incident. Stephen's
Yeah.
making more of it than it is. I had an incident. I got confused, and I apparently said some things I shouldn't have. Like, and a few rapscallions took it the wrong way, and it's all
Gotcha.
more than I feel fine. I don't need to be here. I miss my my townhouse. I do.
Yeah.
I've been here 2 days and I already miss it.
Well, how they been treating you here? The place seems real nice.
Oh, they're great. Everything's fine. It's fine. I feel like I'm a kid again, though. I think people telling me when my bedtime is, and they bring me my meals, which is great. Or I can, they got some restaurant or something I can go to as well. And I don't know. They keep telling me about all these different things I can do, and there's mixers, and I'm too old to
Wow.
make friends. I don't want to make any more friends. Most of my friends are dead, and that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we're friends, you know?
I said most, not all.
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, and Elaine laughs. Well, did you want to take a walk around?
Sure. Go ahead. Give me a hand up, please. He's like, I've been getting dizzy lately since I banged my
Yeah.
head.
Oh,
Kinda-
and
And he does look to be. He looks pretty good actually compared to last time you saw him. He definitely looks to be
Yeah.
a little bit, because last time you saw him was in his home, and whenever he had an incident, he
Mhm.
kind of looked very confused. But he seems a little bit better now. You kind of get him up, and yeah, you can kind of start wandering around. Sure.
yeah,
Uh,
and nowhere really in mind. She's just wandering.
Okay, fair enough. Maria, you go and you visit your uncle. Tell us about your uncle.
Yes, so Uncle Luther probably has been here for a bit, so he's probably a bit more kind of advanced. So she'll kind of go up to his room, and I would say that there's always something fresh in the room. Like she can tell if her aunt has been there recently, like if things have just kind of look like they've been freshened up, and so it looks like Aunt Pearl has been here recently. She'll usually like leave a
Mhm.
note in the room.
Sure. And you can see there is a note. It's dated. She was here day before yesterday, so she might be here today. You never know.
So she'll just kind of
You go inside. He's sleeping. You
okay,
can see
okay.
he's asleep. It's late in the morning though. Like it's kind of he probably shouldn't be sleeping this late, but you can tell he's sleeping.
Okay. So I will go in, turn the TV on, kind of make some noise, see if I can.
Okay. So you wake him up. TV kind of comes on. Price is Right. And kind of you open up the curtains and everything.
Yeah.
You hear him, and he wakes up with like this horrible start, and he's kind of like, no, and you can tell that he is extraordinarily disoriented. Not again, no. And he kind of starts to huddle and put his hands over his head and everything.
Uncle, it's me. It's Maria.
No, it's not you. It's not you. No, it's not you. Mm-mm. No,
Yeah.
I know who you are. I don't. Go away. I don't want you here. No. I got nothing to. No.
Who do you think I am?
I don't want to talk to you, Annabelle. Go. No. He just kind of keeps holding his hands up, and he won't even look you in the eye.
Now it's gonna be all right. And so Maria's gonna go into her pocket,
Okay.
and you're gonna see her pull out. She's got this old Leatherman tool.
Mhm.
It's like one of the original, like early '80s Leathermans that was her uncle's, that he had given to her. And so she'll kind of bring it out, and it's kind of something that she uses kind of when she visits him, to just kind of put in his hands and just see if he'll kind of feel it and kind of ground himself a bit. And so she'll kind of be like, no, Uncle, here. And she'll just kind of set it kind of on the bed towards him and just kind of step away and see if he'll kind of grab it. And
Okay. Roll charisma and like persuasion.
Charisma and persuasion. All right, that's 5 dice. Rolling for that.
And he's worked up, so I'll actually say 3 on this one. He's
3
not just-
successes.
yeah, he's pretty worked up right now, and you're kind of approaching him with it. So
Understood. I got exactly 3, 2 8s and a 10.
okay, so he's you can see like he's kind of almost swiping at you, but you kind of grab his hand. It's feeble. He doesn't have a lot of strength, and you kind of just put it in his hand, and he kind of wraps his hands around it, and kind of shaking a little bit. You take a few steps back. Maria, when did you get here?
Just got here, Uncle. Just got here.
You see him just kind of move and then his hand, and like you could tell he's lost some like dexterity in his fingers, but he's kind of shaking, kind of opening it up a bit here and there. Is Pearl with you?
No. No, I think she'll maybe later. Been a little bit since she's been here, so maybe. But we came separate.
Oh, okay. And he's like, come here.
Yeah.
And he kind of
It's
like
all
reaches up and he kind of
needed.
kind of pats you like very gently on the side of your face, and he just kind of like his hand still shaking, kind of reaches down, grabs the collar of your shirt, and kind of pulls you. Get me out of here! And just it's haunted. And just kind of starts like just pulling at your shirt a bit. Like, she's coming for us.
Annabelle?
Yes. And you see his eyes get like really big, and you can tell like the cataracts is kind of just killing him a bit here, and he's like struggling, and he's like starting to wheeze a little bit. Excuse me. His like breath is getting kind of heavy. He's getting really worked up at that point, and
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
you hear
Maria's here.
you hear some footsteps, and someone comes in like, okay, hey there, Luther. Looks like we're having an excited moment. And you see a woman kind of steps in, probably a nurse, maybe you recognize, and she's got kind of scraggly curling hair. Like, okay, all right, someone's having an incident. Okay, everything's fine. And she's like, excuse me. She tries to kind of like push past you a little bit.
I got him. I think he's doing all right. He was nobody had come in this morning already. I mean, don't usually let him sleep in this long. It's a little late for him to still be curtains were still drawn. He was still sleeping.
We've been in multiple times. Luther's just a little sleepyhead today. That's all. We've been in. Oh, what is it, Luther? 3 times this morning. That's okay.
I mean,
though.
you didn't even open the curtain.
Oh, sure we did. Sure we did. But little Luther here got up and closed him, didn't you? Now. Yeah, I did. It was bright. It hurt my eyes. I couldn't sleep.
Is this new that he's not sleeping at night?
Oh, well, he's always had trouble, as you know, with sleeping, sure. But, it's, we've had some storms lately, and it's kind of made a lot of noise and some power fluctuations here. We have backup generators and everything, but causes some flickering. The HVAC system made everything a little hot for a while, but, nothing. It's nothing to worry about. Maria, right? It's Maria?
Yes.
Nothing to worry about at all. No, he's just, otherwise he's doing great. Isn't that right, Luther? Aren't you doing great? Yeah, I'm doing great.
Can I do some sort of a roll?
What are you trying to
see if this seems to be
Okay. Let's do something like let's do insight with, we'll say, maybe wits.
Okay. That's 5. I'm rolling, and that is what are we aiming for? 6?
6 is a minimum for a success, yeah.
All right. 2 successes.
Okay, 2 successes. You don't sense any like you're not kind of getting anything from this woman body language wise. Like it's just
No nerves or
just-
anything. Just
Yeah, it just sort of seems like she's just kind of going throughout her day. She cares, but not as much as you, obviously. But
she
it
just
does
has
seem
that
like
tone about her.
Yeah,
Sort of
like,
slightly patronizing.
little
like-
condescending. Yeah, just a little condescending, but at the same time, she deals with Luther all the time, and you don't. So, that kind of thing. But you don't. Yeah, she doesn't seem to have anything. Like, there's nothing about her that seems to sort of strike you as odd. You definitely get the sense that Luther seems like he seems scared.
Distressed.
Like he's like, yeah, he's definitely kind of it's different from the last time you saw him.
Okay.
Probably the last time you saw him, though, might have been with Pearl or something like that too. So you're not sure necessarily if it's just her not being here or if it's something else.
Yeah. And I'm assuming Annabelle is not like a family name. That name doesn't ring a bell to
No.
any relatives or anything.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yeah, I think I think I've got him now. I'll probably just kind of spend a little time with him.
Oh, that's great. You know what? He didn't eat. That's another thing, Luther. Gotta eat, don't you? Gotta take your pills. Gotta eat. Can't take your pills without getting some food in you. So if you could it would be wonderful if you could get him to eat. We have his food right over here, and she kind of like wanders over, like right next to the TV. You can see kind of partially obscured. There was like a tray. It's got like the warming cover on it. And she kind of brings it over. If you could just get him to eat, that would be great. And let us know, and I'll bring his meds for him. Okay.
Sure. Is there a maybe a table outside of the room that maybe I could kind of take him out and then eat and sort of
Sure.
observe some people at the same time?
Sure, absolutely. Get him up and moving, some fresh air, socializing. That'd be great. Thanks, Maria. Thank you. All right, Luther.
What was your name again? I'm sorry, I'm blanking on your name now.
Oh, I'm Penny.
Penny. Thank you, Penny. Appreciate
You're
it all.
welcome. You're welcome. Okay, you two have a fun visit. And she wanders off.
Reminds me of my customer service voice.
Right? I noticed that this game is hard to do like accents. You just have to do like intonations because everyone's just like, yeah, you know what I mean? We'll kick back over to the Sunset Trails crew. What do you two want to do?
So Quixote's sitting there, and he's got 8 eggs and about a half a pound of breakfast sausage cooked up, and he's mixed it together, and he's got mustard on it, and he's just shoveling it in. He's like, Alvin, you have got to try this. Have you ever had anything this good in your whole life?
I've had plenty of eggs and sausages.
Man, you're living the life. Listen, those 2 people over there, they're in their late 60s, early 70s, but they're not monsters. I tried to repel them and had no effect on them whatsoever.
That's interesting. They do look quite young for their age.
I know, right? And so there's on-site medical and on-site security, but it sounds like they may be contracted from other companies, so there may be vehicles moving in and out throughout the day. They've got their own food services, so they've got to have food coming in and out. They've got enhanced security on the gate like we saw, and roving patrols at a minimum. One area they didn't, or the man Robert didn't want his wife to tell me about, was the clubhouse. So that may be a key point of investigation. No obvious entryway. How'd I do? Hey, Reva, how did I do?
And she goes, what? And she takes the earbud out of her ear. What was that? She has like AirPods in her ear the whole time.
I really don't like her.
Okay, just let me know when we're actually going to do something. Like that's a lot of eggs. I think.
Have you ever had eggs, mustard, and sausage? It needs a little more mustard, but it's so good.
Vegetables are good for you, you know.
Oh, I love vegetables. I get them out of that's what gets thrown away more than anything.
I'm vegan. She puts them back in her.
I really don't like her at all, Alvin.
Oh man, who knew? Who knew? It wasn't the vampires everyone would hate. It's the 27-year-old gig economist. Okay, so what do you two want to do?
Yeah, so it's locked up pretty tight. Need to weigh in.
Now,
there was
this place is huge, so you can tell just by kind of looking around that the actual community is extraordinarily large, and like that wall just kind of weaves around, and like it's just desert kind of behind it. Like you can see it's flanked by desert. There's the main road that comes across the south side and kind of curves up the east a little bit, but otherwise it like kind of pushes out onto just desert waste. And I mean, you can tell like there are spots here and there on the exterior walls you're driving around where you can tell like the coloring is ever so slightly different. Like it's likely this is where it was expanded here and there, but it doesn't really have like these clear like lot expansions, but it's more kind of circuitous in some way or nebulous. But it is quite large. You would guess that there's at least several hundred trailers in this community.
You know, we could always set up watch during the day, find out what security company provides security support when they do a guard swap, steal a couple of uniforms, and then at night go over the wall. Then we just look like a roving patrol. I think I stick out pretty bad if we went over during the day.
Yeah, maybe like night maintenance. The worker I was just talking to, he works there.
Well, that's a good idea.
Get the same get up.
Where did he go? We can go have a talk with him.
I just chatted him. We don't have to talk with him anymore. We can just sort of get his gear or like look similar.
Oh, that's what I meant. I meant knock him out and steal his stuff.
You saw him get into a truck out in the parking lot for the diner.
Yeah, but before we go knock out some folks, just a little idea if there was maybe like a lost and found in the diner, maybe a bunch of workers come by, maybe just happens to be like a badge or two lying around.
You're so smart, Alvin. I would have never thought of that.
Okay, so we're just gonna do. Yeah, this is just pure luck, whether or not there's something in there. So I'll tell you what. Roll. Roll wits combined with charisma, and we'll see how much strength or how much successes you get.
All right, that'll give me 40 gents.
That gets me 5. Oh, 2 10s. So
Ooh,
that's
a crit.
4 and a 6, so 5.
Okay. Okay. So you ask for a card. Or excuse me, you ask the waitress who's running the counter for a lost and found. You make up some story. It's not difficult. No roll necessary. She kind of wanders back into the sort of the management office area. Comes back out. She's got this big old business file box. She kind of takes the lid off. She's like, "Nah, have at it. Just let me know if you need anything." And those folks over there said that you were gonna pay for their price. Is that right? I just
I've got it. No problem.
Okay, great. I'll put them both on the same tab then. Okay, you guys just knock yourself out.
Hey, while we're looking through the lost and found, could you bring me a really big stack of pancakes?
Sure, we get a full stack for you, no problem.
And some whipped cream on his bill. Yes. Can you put the whipped cream a little bit between every layer? I've never had pancakes like that.
Well, I'm sure we could. Yeah, absolutely, no problem. Happy to help. So
thanks, Alvin.
Wanders out like full stack, whipped cream between each bit. Calls it out. Okay. All right. So you're going through it, and you're looking. You want there to be a key card, is what you want, huh? Okay. You've rolled 5 successes. That's a lot.
Or even like a security hat with the security logo, so we would know who the security company was, or something like that.
Okay. I think we'll say you find what looks like a thing of keys, but it's like heavy. So it's definitely like maintenance keys, and you can tell like it's got like a couple different what are likely like deadbolt locks, and you can see that in addition to that there is there looks to be like a maintenance card, and you can tell it's got that Sunset Trails logo on it. It says Chad Grit. You can see a photo of a guy probably in his early to late 50s or so. He's got this kind of salt and pepper beard. Did not look like the man that you were speaking to, Alvin. You also find, as you're kind of going through it, what looks like a wallet. You open it up, and you can tell that there's, as you're kind of flipping through like the things that are in the wallet itself, there's like some credit cards and stuff, and the ID, and you recognize one of the cards that you pull out, and it is a lockroom control ID card. You recognize it. It's just sort of like their basic ID cards. You can see that it's kind of been tucked away behind a couple of the other credit cards in here. It's not for the same guy. It looks to be for someone by the name of Stephen Robertson, and it seems very plain name. You see a kind of what looks like a kind of fairly dark-skinned man. He's got a very tight military cut, and you can see he's got a very thin mustache, but nothing too outrageous.
Got something. Lockham's got their hands on this too.
Should have known. Well, now at least we know there's a nest of enemies in there.
But we'll take the keys.
Okay.
And Quixote will definitely pocket the lockroom ID
Yeah,
card.
sure. Yeah, you can take whatever you like. Yeah. All right. So then you take that, and there's a bunch of other stuff in here, but none of it looks to be particularly interesting. But you have like a ring of keys. You have a ID card for what looks to be someone who works at Sunset, and then you have what looks like a lockroom ID card as well. Okay. Anything else you all want to do next? Your pancakes obviously come out.
And Quixote's so excited by their finds that he's just picking up pancakes with his hands and eating them as he he turns down. And he's like,
So now we got the means to maybe Elaine can fix up these IDs or something, and we could get a couple of uniforms and go in over the wall at night.
It's perfect.
All right. Okay, so you get your pancakes. You start eating with your hands. Rena looks at you with disgust, and we will cut over towards Elaine and Maria. Elaine, what are you doing? You've been going on this walk with Mr. Ponder. Is there something in particular you're trying to do while this is happening?
One of the things that she's doing is she's trying to observe like what's security like. Like, is there a lot of cameras? Because she wants to know like when she gets home if she's able to get hacked into here and view it, like what's her options going to be like.
Sure. Wits awareness, as you're just trying to take a general idea of security, surveillance, all that kind of stuff. No problem.
What's my target number?
Minimum of, well, I'll say the minimum of 2 to get some basic information, but the more you get, the more success you get, the more things you might observe.
Okay, I'm gonna spend a willpower to re-roll 3. Okay, so I have 4 successes.
Okay.
I had only 1.
Fair enough. That's a good reroll. All right. So you would notice as you're wandering around a couple things. I mean, in terms of security, there definitely seem to be security people here. They're not set up in any way that makes it look like this is abnormal. But you can tell that there are people who They're wearing khakis and collared shirts and such. You can tell all of them though are pretty built. Like you can tell, like there's none that kind of these don't look like just sort of cheap rent-a-cops like any random person, but all of them you can tell they fill out their collared shirts pretty nicely. You can tell that there are on every floor there are multiple cameras in every hallway. You don't notice any cameras directly in the rooms, but you notice cameras all throughout the hallway. You would imagine that every single door into every room is on camera based upon the way it looks. You're pretty sure it's on some sort of closed circuit. You would, with your knowledge of these things, which means there's probably some kind of room somewhere in the building or this complex that likely is sort of a security office. In your basic walks in like the normal public areas with Mr. Ponder, you haven't seen that room. But there also is like a huge administrative wing on the main floor that people don't go down unless they work here. So you would guess it's down there. But otherwise that's probably what you would learn there. The other thing you notice, we'll say maybe you go off and you have a little walk outside with him. There is like this nice garden area where you can tell a lot of people are taking breaks, drinking coffee, some are visiting, etc. But then if you left and you kind of continued heading northward, you notice that like the garden area kind of gives way to more sort of desert landscape, and that extends a little bit, and then eventually you just see the mountain kind of go kind of slope up. But you see that there is a very large wall that's like half cinder block, half iron wrought. So you can see like these bars that are kind of sticking out of the foundation of the cinder block, which kind of blends pretty nicely with the desert browns and beiges. And you can see that along the way, on some of these iron wrought links here and there, there's kind of an extended pole, and you can see that there's cameras up there as well, as if it's sort of surveying the grounds itself. But there is a significant chunk of like the mountain itself that goes up. And with you had 4 successes. And you can tell like just by looking up the mountain. I mean, you can definitely see like in the distance, like it looks like birds, like probably like scavenger or hunting birds, like a hawk or something. And more than likely there's coyotes or something up there as well. And that might be what this is kind of keeping an eye on for it. You don't see any gates or anything like that going behind.
Okay.
Maria, what have you been doing?
So Maria and Luther are kind of out in kind of like a little floor area. Hopefully there are some other kind of residents out there, kind of while I'm helping him kind of eat up his breakfast.
Roll an awareness test. Wits is fine.
All right, that's 4. Let's see how we do with that. That is a 3 successes, 7, 8, and a 9.
Okay. 3 successes. You recognize somebody out here on the patio eating, and you can tell has a newspaper out, is reading at the same time. You see Katya. She appears to be sitting with another woman of some age, kind of, definitely got like this curly gray hair that's got like hints of like old dye that are draining out. But the two of them are sitting at this glass outdoor patio table near the edge of this garden area. She doesn't look at you. She's not staring at you, but she's out there.
Okay. So Maria wants to kind of place herself and Luther somewhere that might be in, kind of like eye range of kind of where Maria is. So hopefully kind of behind the other woman, if that's logistically possible.
It is. Do you want to do anything more
I will
obvious
just
about it,
be raising kind of my voice as I'm kind of talking to him, just being like, all right, Luther, let's get you that breakfast. That Penny there told me that I needed to make sure you ate all of this. And so she's kind of like just elevating kind of her voice a little bit just to make sure that Katja would hear me.
Okay. At no point does Katya look in your direction. No point does she follow the voice. I'll tell you this, though. Roll a wits test and add maybe subterfuge.
Okay. All right, I've got 3 to roll for that. 2 successes.
Okay. Do you want to willpower that for more?
Only rolling 3 dice. Sure, I will try the other one and see if I can go 3 for 3.
Okay.
I did. 8, 9, and 10. So
Excellent.
3 successes.
So you notice she got this newspaper out. She's talking with this this other woman, and not unlike what you're doing. She talks fairly loudly, and there's a lot of people talking loudly to each other. This is
Sure.
there's a lot of elder folk here. Not trying to be a jerk, but it happens.
Hearing is not what it used to be for several folks.
So you notice actually that she like kind of very carefully kind of folds up her newspaper. It looks like she was maybe working on the crossword or something, and just leaves it there. She doesn't take it with her. She just kind of leaves it right there. And then she almost kind of forces the other woman to get up. And she's like, I don't want to go yet. And like, what are you doing, Ruth? I don't want to go yet. And then like she grabs the woman and they kind of wander off. But the newspaper is left behind.
Okay. Clearly, I'm going to, before anybody comes to clear that table, I'm going to look around, make sure nobody seems to be watching me. Try to be
It's a public patio. There's a lot of people out here. Whether or not anyone's specifically looking at you, I mean, I'm sure at some point their eyes will glance over. You don't get the sense that anyone's like eyeing you down or anything.
okay. Then I will go and retrieve that newspaper.
Okay. You pick it up, and you can see that the crossword has been filled out. But as you're looking at it, you realize that the crossword puzzle is not really making any sense, in the sense that like the letters aren't adding up, and like.
Mm-hmm.
But as you watch, you realize like there's a message in it, and it seems to be numbers and a time, and then she says, "Yeah, there's something along the lines of." Trying to think of like how she might word it specifically, but you get the sense like danger,
Okay.
supernatural, and then she lists a room number and she lists a time.
Okay.
So 9 p.m., 5:14, danger, supernatural.
Okay. And I will, at that point, shoot a text over to Elaine.
What day is it? Is it like today, September 23rd today, or is it like before 5:14?
Remember it's monsoon season, we'll say late
Got
summer type of
Okay.
deal. So I don't have the exact date for you, but we'll just say it's not today.
Okay. And Elaine will text you back, and it's kind of cryptic, but she's just kind of like, it's just suggesting that we'll talk after we leave. And ask where you're at, and then she'll bring Mr. Ponder out to kind of like meet up.
So you two are wandering out on the grounds, and you
Mhm.
stop to kind of do the texting thing. When you look up, you can see Mr. Ponder has kind of wandered off a couple feet, and you can see he's standing kind of on the desert landscape, like just outside that gardened area, and he's just kind of staring like out towards the mountain a little bit, and then he kind of looks down on the ground, and he kind of looks over, and he turns around towards you, and he just looks lost.
Hey, Mr. Ponder, you all right? What's happening?
Elaine, when did you get here? Oh my
Hey.
God, what happened to your face?
I just stuff happens.
Stuff
Got in an
happens. You're
accident.
wearing an eye patch, and he just kind of reaches up like he's gonna pull it down again.
Yeah. And Elaine's like, what's your routine like over here? Let's head back to your room.
Kind of looks around. He's like, routine? I don't even know where I'm at right now. He kind of looks around. Where am I?
Do I notice anything up at the mountain, like where he was looking?
Roll awareness, wits. He was kind of like all around, but you can roll if you're specifically looking up the mountain. That's fine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 successes, and I get to roll one more because I don't have enough dice. 5
Nice.
successes.
5. Holy crap. Yeah, you notice actually in the distance, it's a ways up there, but you can see there's a handful of birds that are kind of circling around. Definitely something like they're scavenger types, kind of circling around. It's a ways up.
It's not giving off like any like supernatural vibes or anything.
I don't know what that would look like. It's just an awareness
don't
test.
know.
You're not casting a spell or anything like that.
I don't know.
No, it's just you just see birds circling around up the mountain.
Okay,
It would lead you probably to conclude something
Is dead.
died or is dying, and they're scavenger birds or something.
Yeah. That kind of like weirds Elaine out, and she just kind of wants to get Mr. Ponder back in his room.
Sure. You go ahead and you start wandering back. Maria, you do probably something similar, and we'll cut back over to the Sunset Trails crew. Okay, what's the plan for you guys now? We'll say it's a couple hours have passed probably since you've been out here between breakfast and everything, scouting around. What's next for you guys?
Yeah, I think next is sort of working with what we just got here. Try to get up or make a get up outfits, have all this badges and access in, and just go in like at a night, check out the place.
Okay. Kyoto, was there anything else you wanted to do here? Like you guys are free to leave and kind of go prep something else, yeah?
Yeah, no, there's nothing else he wanted to do at the diner.
Okay. So yeah, you guys can leave. Is there anything else you want to do at all, Kyoto?
Other than vomit, because he's really, really sick now. He pukes in the alley. He's like, well, we gotta get uniforms somewhere. And he's looking around as he leaves to see if anybody's paying any particular attention to them as we leave the diner.
Do you leave? Would you say you left before or after the couple, Robert and Linda, that you spoke to?
Probably after, because we stuck around and we're
Okay.
eating some extra pancakes.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. No notices. You don't notice anyone kind of staring you down at that point. Doesn't look like the woman at the counter cares too much. But like as you leave, like as you're leaving out, thanks so much. Oh my, and like you hear her just kind of mumble like best morning we've had in weeks. But no, you don't hear any. Nothing else like suggests that anyone's staring you down.
And I'll look over to Rena. Rena, do you got any resources or contacts that can get us a couple of lockroom control security uniforms or mock up a maintenance uniform so we can go over the wall tonight?
I could. Oh God, your breath. Ugh.
And some mouthwash. I need mouthwash too.
I
Don't eat a bunch of pancakes, whipped cream, and mustard in the same meal. It didn't set well.
And you can see she pulls her phone out. And maintenance get up or something? Okay.
We can describe. I mean, Alvin can describe it
Mhm.
to you what it looked like, and then I'm assuming Lockroom Security standard uniform. They're all over the place. They dress up like cops for the most part.
So she shoots off a text, or actually it's not even a text. You see her have an app, like it's like an app, like she's doing something. It's almost like WhatsApp or something like that. And she sort of sends a message, and she gets something back. I can get us maintenance. Yep, I can do that. That's a no on what would they call it again?
Lockroom Control Security.
That's a no on that, but I can get us the maintenance.
Why can't you get us the security? I thought you guys were, highfalutin.
Highfalutin?
That's that. I said that right, Alvin. Highfalutin. It's what my old nurse used to say when she'd get upset and we'd start thrashing around. She'd say I was highfalutin, and then they put the straitjacket on me and hit me till I fell asleep.
Highfalutin. No, we're not highfalutin, whatever that means. There's only so many resources I can tap into, and the more I tap into, the more it takes out of my bottom line. So we're going with maintenance.
You're not a very nice person, but okay.
I never said I was. She puts the earbuds back in. Okay. All right. So other than kind of waiting around and kind of going and picking up those uniforms, was there anything else you were going to do between now and like nighttime?
I think when she goes to pick up the uniforms, Russ would probably still be kind of taking a look at the perimeter and trying to figure out guard shifts, primarily when they're coming and leaving the facility, number of guards, if they're going in and out in cars of 2 people, or are they taking a van in, which could have up to 6 or 8 men with up to 4 2-man patrols. So he's trying to figure out the rough number of security guards per shift.
Intelligence awareness on that. And we'll say this takes, you do more of this, more kind of surveillance now that you have some more leads to go on. Alvin, anything you're doing in the meantime?
I think it's just surveillance as well. Just get a day's worth of it.
You can
I got 8 and 8, a 7 and a 10, so 4 successes.
Very good.
On 4 dice.
What was the roll again?
Awareness, intelligence, if you're just kind of doing observation and trying to figure out things like this.
Just 1 success.
Okay. That's not too good. However, Quixote, if you're looking specifically for security, they do seem to come in and out. If you're spending a few hours, you notice that the shift change seemed to happen around noon, as far as you could tell, as it looks like one of a very familiar looking vehicle pulls up. It looks like the vehicle that kind of pulls up is SUV style, but you've seen these before. They very much look like actual cop cars, but you can tell that they're not as closer inspection. They go in, they seem to have their own cards. So they go up and they're just kind of let in. Gates open, they drive in. You can see shortly after another vehicle drives out, same sort of tagging on the car. With 4 successes, I'll say, despite the fairly tinted nature of the glass, you could tell that there were 4 people probably in that SUV that came in, and looks like around 4 on the way out as well. Whether or not that's the entirety of the security or if the forces overlap, you're not sure, but at the very least, there's at least 4 agents on site. What else would you have? Maintenance wise, you see like what looks like a Sunset Trails tagged truck. It's just a normal truck, like an F-250 or something like that, but it has like the Sunset Community Trails logo like magneted onto the side of the truck. And you can tell it's a maintenance truck because there's all sorts of different toolboxes and things. It looks like a worker's truck. Comes and goes a couple times. You think it's probably you would guess maybe just going and getting doing like a Home Depot or Lowe's run or something like that for whatever. But they come and go. It's the same vehicle, from what you can tell, and it's the same vehicle, Alvin, that you saw out in the when you were at the restaurant as well, at the diner.
Is there? Do we see an exterior garage that might house vehicles for the facility?
No, there are a couple vehicles. There were 2 vehicles that you saw in like the leasing office. The only exterior building outside of the wall is that leasing office, and it's it's not a huge. It's not a huge sized building, but you can tell that there's 2 vehicles there. One of those you presume is probably Eloise, the one you met, and there's a second one.
Does it look like the maintenance truck is left inside the compound at night, or is that a drive home vehicle?
That's probably something you would have to figure. You'd have to wait around till night just to sort out. You do see a handful of other vehicles come and go. Normal looking vehicles,
Mhm.
nothing special. Just probably residents and things coming and going.
Well, we could always follow a resident when they stop and go in someplace, pop the trunk, get in the trunk in the maintenance clothes, have them drive us back in, wait till they park, wait an hour or 2. I mean, you'd be a little cramped. Then we could just get out and pretend to be maintenance people and check out the common areas.
Whatever we have to do. Gotta get in there.
Okay. So we'll say next couple hours you all go and you or maybe Rena just goes and picks up the some sort of maintenance uniform that approximates what you were able to provide as a description, and then you guys are kind of waiting around for her to do this, as you're surveilling and whatnot. And we'll jump back over then to Whitehall. And Elaine and Maria, what are you 2 doing? You send some text to each other. Do you eventually meet up, or do you return your various patients to their rooms?
Yeah, Maria wanted to see if she could chat with like a neighbor or anybody, just kind of trying to get a sense of like anyone else seems to be having some kind of acting a little different than normal.
Okay. Sure. Next door to your uncle, there is a elderly woman by the name of Starla Rudd. Perhaps you have met her before, at once or twice, just in passing. But when you return Uncle Luther to his room, we'll say Starla's door is open. You hear the sounds of what seems like daytime television. She's probably watching her stories. What would you like to do?
I'll just, kind of, knock on the door and just like, hey, Starla.
You can see she's like knitting something and she's watching, and she looks up and she's and she pulls her glasses back down. Maria, is that you?
Yeah, it's Maria. I was just stopping by to see Uncle Luther.
Oh God, I haven't seen you in ages. Oh goodness, you look well, darling, you look terrible. Oh my God, you need to moisturize more. Look at this, and look at you. I'm 30 years your senior, and my skin is glowing, and yours looks like you've been crawling around a sewer.
Yeah, you were the housewife. I'm a plumber. How many times I got to tell you this? We don't live the same life.
Housewife? Excuse me.
You know you were.
I
You
managed a
told
department store for 14 years. It was a Bloomingdale's. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I have a big type when it comes to this. Like, I'm dating all of my old people for sure. Like, okay. So, but yeah, you kind of, you sort of do some basic catch up and stuff, and she tells you about what's going on in her stories, and like kind of just sort of small talk. We don't have to play it all out. But at a certain point, I would imagine you're trying to fish for some kind of information. So how do you do that, and what are you looking for?
Yeah, this nurse Penny, she's telling me that Luther's not sleeping well, and
oh, I know. I hear him tossing and turning. Oh my God, that poor man.
What are you hearing? Like this is new. This is, he's always slept like a log.
Well, I don't know if he's always slept like a log. I'm not privy to that kind of information, and I'm sure Pearl would not want me to know that. So don't go saying I said anything. I don't want to deal with that accusation any further. I am not husband hunting. I've already had 3. I don't need another.
Oh,
Anyhow,
you ladies, you and your stories. Not everything is just like that.
you tell your aunt that, okay? I'm just a friendly neighbor, is all. Anyhow, your uncle, they found him wandering. Was it? I don't even know what is today. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. They found him wandering a couple days ago. I think it was last Friday. He was just wandering around. They had, what was the word they used? A fugue state, they said. Had no idea where he was, how he got there, things like that.
Where did they find him?
Outside, middle of the night. Well, before dawn at least.
That's.
He was rambling about some lady.
Annabelle?
Yeah, that's the name. Right there.
Yeah.
He
He
did
just
tell
mentioned
you.
that to me when I was in there, but I mean nobody told me about this wandering in the middle of the night business.
Well, they told you, Aunt, don't worry. That's not like they're hiding anything here. They're very nice people.
Is anybody else having these states?
Well, I mean, maybe the problem, like, I mean, I don't, and she starts to speak really loudly because, like, you could hear someone pushing a cart past, and she wants the person out there to hear. I don't know what they're doing lately, but some people just aren't doing their jobs. It's ridiculous, Maria. Everything's coming late. People don't do the proper check-ins and check-outs. I put my trash out, and no one even picked it up. It's like the staff just doesn't even want to work anymore. They forget what we pay them for. They forget how exorbitant of a cost their services are.
You do pay good money for good service.
They say your uncle is losing his mind and his memory. Well, some of these people have forgotten what we pay them for, is what it is.
Is there has there been a lot of turnover lately? Is just new faces around?
Not, a few here and there. More faces, we don't see as much anymore. They don't come, they don't check on things. They left a woman locked in a bathroom for like six hours, I think.
Oh no,
That's what I heard anyway. It's down on the 4th floor. This, it's not. Well, actually, wait, no, you're on the 4th floor. It's up on the 5th floor.
well, this, I mean, have you told your kids about this? Have they talked to management or anything? I mean,
We have lodged a complaint or two. Yes, we pay top dollar for my services here, and that means promptness, courtesy, and attentiveness. It's right there on their website, and they're clearly not doing some of those things lately. It's like they all just lost their minds lately.
Are they welcome raiders? Welcome Diesel Shot.
Diesel Shot, thank you so much for the raid. Very kind of you. Very much. God. I have a problem. I just really enjoy playing old women. I don't know what it is. Okay, so yeah, go ahead. Thank you so much, by the way. I really do appreciate that.
So they're around, they're just not doing their job. It's not necessarily new people, but they're just focused on other stuff.
Yeah, you got it. That's it right there. Some of them just, I haven't seen a few of them. They're supposed to come check on us. They're supposed to take the trash. When we ask for, like, I ordered. I don't personally like going down to the dining room for lunch. I like taking my lunch in my room so I can watch my stories.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. It's a flip of the coin whether I get my sandwich in the afternoon. I need my protein.
Well, that's just an injustice for all the money that you paid to be here that you're not getting top quality
You understand.
service.
Of course you understand. You understand.
Of course I do, Starla. Of course I do. Did you get your lunch today? Did you get your sandwich, or can I go get it for you?
No, I got it, but I had to call multiple times. The kitchen, they weren't answering, and then they finally did, and then they copped an attitude with me, of all things, because I was upset. I have a standing order. I shouldn't have to call every day, okay? They said, oh, they couldn't find the runner. What do you mean you couldn't find him? They're 16-year-old kids. Just find the dime a dozen. Just find another one if they're missing. Who cares?
Well, you know how it is these days.
Yeah, they're very lazy, this new generation. Very rude. They do not respect their elders.
They have some attitude. Some of them do for sure.
They do. They do. One of them called me a boomer? What does that even mean, a boomer?
It's like a curse word. It's just so rude.
I was very upset.
Yeah,
So you go on for a little bit while longer. Okay, let's look over. Elaine, what have you been doing with old Mr. Well done, Australis. Okay, boomer. What do you want to do, Elaine?
Elaine would definitely take him back to his room, or on the way, she'd ask, do they have like communal computers or anything for the residents?
Did you actually have a computer room? Yeah.
So that's where Elaine would take Mr. Ponder to like the computer room.
Okay, he'll be like, why are we going here? What?
Don't you want to play your slot games for a little bit?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. Okay.
And
So you set him up on one of the computers.
yeah.
He's playing some random like crappy like old
The
it's almost like
internet
old
slot.
JavaScript stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't really work half the time. Okay. All right.
And then she is just like connecting to the Wi-Fi, seeing what she can just like easily get access to.
Mhm.
And then she's gonna try and like, if it's not like actively like watched by somebody, try and hide like a USB in the back or something.
Okay. I mean, it wouldn't be a USB. It would be some sort of you
whatever
want
it
some
would
sort of
be.
like data collection device. Okay, it is just a like this would just be like, you know, residents, right? Like you could be
Yeah.
collecting. Okay. All right. So if you want some sort of data kind of collection device, why don't we do a little like retroactive? Do a tech, probably int. As we'll say, almost like a Blades in the Dark style flashback. We see like Elaine kind of tinkering with something to sort of collect, like pull data off of these computers here.
Reroll 3 of these. Cool. I have 4 successes.
Okay. So yeah, you can piece together some sort of like data cloning device or something like that, where it can kind of read hard drive stuff and kind of clone it. These aren't, I mean, like these are decent computers, but they're not the most advanced in the world. They're not the newest, you could tell, but they're not terrible. They're not horribly slow. And so, yeah, and it's a whole kind of computer lab, but it's also at the same time like a lounge, and you can see most of the people who are on it. You can hear in the corner people doing like virtual meetings with their family, and you can hear like the sounds of people trying to direct others how to use like the Zoom correctly and everything. But yeah, you can kind of rip some basic data off here.
Cool.
It's pretty like it's pretty broad net, so you're not sure if you're going to find anything useful, but you have something for it.
Yeah.
In the back of your head that the better place to do this would probably be an administrative computer.
Yeah.
Okay. So does 2 of you eventually meet up?
Yeah.
All right, you've been here for a while now. It's well past lunch, middle afternoon, we'll call it. You finally meet up. Both of your respective friends, family are back in their rooms. What do you want to do next?
So, Katja wants to meet up at 9.
Today?
Yeah. Yep. She gave me a room number and a time.
Okay.
So
They don't
You
have
can-
like typical like meeting hours or anything?
I think they said at the beginning that it wasn't necessarily super strict about being able
Yeah,
to
9
come and go.
o'clock is kind of late. You would probably guess the only way you'd kind of get in there at this time of day, that time of day, is if you had some sort of special permission or emergency or something like that. That's probably most of the people who are living within this facility are of advanced age. They're probably either in bed or nearing bedtime at 9 p.m.
I wonder if this is like an Ashley question. If we could see about spending the night, or at least you, because Uncle Luther hasn't been sleeping at night.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the ask if he's been struggling a bit to see if like that would be allowable.
Yeah.
I would say both of you would know that is against policy.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Like, it's one thing for some, like the spouse or something to doze off during the day, but like overnight stay,
Gotcha.
at least my time working at a Whitehall. No, they would not let that happen. So
sounds like we'll have to sneak back in.
Okay. All right. So we'll
All
say
right, Maria will take that bug that she got earlier, and we'll leave it in Uncle Luther's room.
sure. Okay, so you just find a place to put it. Is there? I'll tell you what. How about you roll a subterfuge intelligence to see if you can find like a good place to put it where you're pretty confident no one would look. And the higher the roll, the better, because it will be potentially contested by someone's awareness.
So that is 2 10s, which means it's a crit, which means it's a 4 because I didn't roll anything else that was above.
Okay, excellent.
I
I'm gonna write that down.
will spend a willpower to roll the other 2 just to see if I can get a higher since it's contested. And I don't, so it's still a 4.
Okay. All right, 4 it is. You place the blood. You place your bug. Elaine, you retrieve your device, your data your data cloning device, and then the two of you leave the grounds with the plan to return at night. A couple hours pass for both groups. I'm gonna kick back to Quixote and Alvin. You got we'll say Rena comes back. She's got these very unflattering looking bits of sort of maintenance get up. What looks like a little too tight when it comes to the shirts, a little too baggy when it comes to the pants. Little hat that has like the Sunset logo. It's got the Sunset Trails logo and the polo as well. But both of you have the get up on, and you can tell she's just sort of leaning back, like chewing her gum, popping her bubbles. Well, don't you two make a pair?
Oh, you're not coming along.
Oh no, I can come too.
So, Alvin, do you want to go over the wall, or do you want to try to ride in a vehicle? I'm okay either way. I mean, the wall might be less complicated. Might be harder though.
Yeah. So were the security gates like manned, or was it just like sort of a ID punch a card in sort of deal?
It's an ID card, yeah. You did not see a manned security gate outside. Whether there's anything on the inside, you don't know, but you don't see anything outside.
Did we see any button cameras, security cameras over the gate?
I will say, yeah. Like when you guys were close enough to the leasing office, you both would be able to see that kind of stuff. Definitely, there were cameras at the gate. There were cameras by the leasing office for sure.
If we try to go through the gate, I think we're going to pop on film if they're watching it from the security office somewhere on the grounds. Might get a little hectic.
We can try the wall then.
I like it. Let's do the wall.
Okay. So this is going to be more of a stealth thing than I would say a climbing thing. I think the two of you are smart enough and capable enough to figure out how to get over a wall. But let's go ahead and do both of you. Go ahead and roll some stealth, dexterity, I suppose.
All right, rolling 5 dice.
You're waiting until after dark, right?
Yeah. Well after dark. 796. So that's 3 successes, and I'll spend a willpower to re-roll the other 2. Because I'm assuming this is going to be contested.
It will
Yeah, I
be,
got 1 success, but I will also reroll with willpower.
Okay, so I got a 10, 9, 6, 7, 7 for 5 successes.
Very
Ended up
nice.
with 3.
Okay. Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's not 5, but I mean, like, you're an old man.
Yeah, but I still can't drive, so
And Alvin didn't kill his parents, I suppose, too. There's that.
there is that.
All right, so I would say just you don't have to be too specific about this, but there's the southern main entrance by the leasing office. There's an eastern side entrance. Both of them have cameras and such. And then there's this, it's a huge complex. Relative to the gates, where would you be trying to hop over the wall? Like,
So-
how far away from them, I'll say.
I think we would box out wide and come at the far wall on the desert side and look for a dip in the wall where you get kind of a convex when you go over the wall. So you've got denser shadows on the ground on the opposite side.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we'll say, and Rena's coming with you. I keep her pretty passive until you all want to have something happen. But the three of you, sure, you kind of keep your cars at a distance or your vehicles at a distance. Find a place to put them that might not be too noticeable. And you work your way around to the northern side of the complex, northern side of the wall. You find the dip, and we'll say that the three of you can easily help each other. Someone kind of gives the boost and kind of pushes up. And they're not wrong. These are surprisingly tall to the point where you can't really see over them. Like, meaning, like, even if you back away, it's so hard to kind of get a view. But eventually, the three of you kind of hop over. And what you see as you do is a sprawling, circuitous trailer park with very well-maintained trailers. Variety of layouts. You can see some double wide, some singles, some with porches, some without. None look to be messy or disorganized in any fashion. You can tell that some of them have, they're all kind of in the same range of coloring. There are roads that weave between them, but it is not grid style. Like, this is like, there are weaving roads here and there to the point where, like, without kind of some sort of overlay of the place, it's just it's almost kind of nebulous in some fashion. You can tell in the distance as you hop over, like once you're at like kind of the peak part of the wall before you hop down into the shadows, there's really only one building that stands out above all the others. Because everything around here is single-story trailer stuff, right? You can see what looks like a 2-story building. You think maybe 2.5 could have an attic or something like that in the distance. And I do mean distance. It's like a good half mile to a mile away. Like, that's how big this complex is. And you can kind of see that you would probably piece together that's the clubhouse in some way. You hop down, and you are, I would say, the closest trailer to you is probably a good 50 yards away when you hop down, and they're not extremely close to one another. You can tell that these are decently big lots when you hop down. But when you hop down, there's occasional streetlights here and there that are just barely taller than the trailers themselves. And you can see they're all on. They give off this kind of faint, kind of orange glow. When you're looking around the trailers near you, none of them have lights on inside.
What time is it?
Since you said that you waited well after dark, I don't know, we could probably say like maybe at 10 o'clock or something. Because it would get dark probably around, 7 or so here, 7:30 or something like that. So,
Alvin, does it strike you weird that none of these trailers are lit up? I mean, I know they're old, but I mean, they don't look old and they don't act old. I can't imagine they'd all be asleep.
It does strike me a bit strange. Maybe we can check out nearby the trailers, see if there's actually active signs of activity that are left behind.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. You go towards the nearest one. We'll roll your stealth over. You peek in through one of these windows. You can see inside.
Also
Bed,
looking for
furniture.
how the trailers are coupled into power, sewer, and water. I want to
Mhm.
make sure they actually have utilities going to them, so
Yes.
they're actually living units.
There are in fact hookups. You can definitely tell that they are hooked up. These aren't like airline types. These are kind of
Double wide, like real
double wide. They are sturdy and staying here, right? Like a slightly more mobile than prefabricated homes. But yeah, you can tell they all have sewer hookups. You can tell they all have electrical hookups. Everything seems to be the way you would expect to find it. Alvin, when you step up, you look in the window. You kind of sneak up. You look inside, and you can see there's furniture inside. There's a kind of a modest living space. Again, it's nice. Everything's very, very nice. You can tell double-paned windows and everything. You can see what looks like some kind of wood or faux wood flooring on the inside. Looks like you can see like a small little kitchen area with these kind of stainless steel appliances and such. You don't notice it. There's no one inside though.
Yeah, it is a bit late for people to be moving around, but it looks livable.
Did you see anybody in there?
No.
Well, maybe they're all over there in the community center then.
We should make our way there.
Okay. So three of you start to weave as best you can into the direction of the clubhouse there. We'll come back to Elaine and Maria. We'll say it's roughly the same time, 9 o'clock ish or so, when I assume you head back at night to this place. The two of you are trying to stealth in. You notice that when you get here, the parking lot is it's much more empty. There's still quite a few vehicles in the employee area, but probably half full. Whereas the visitor side, there's like one or two maybe. What's your plan for getting inside? Vaguely, you don't have to get too specific.
Like vaguely, the idea was that we'd like bypass a locked door, electronically locked door or whatever, get in, get up to the proper floor where we're meeting her at, and just kind of like hide out until she can get there.
Make use of Elaine's perks.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and roll your perk edge for you're bypassing this, because there are multiple ways into this facility. There is the main way, but there are like side exits and things like that. You can tell employees can get in with their cards.
Yeah.
So this, I think, is it just tech intelligence?
It doesn't say. But yeah, we can do tech.
What is it you took? Sorry.
I took all access, the global access perks, all access pass.
Okay.
I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I did not.
You have to succeed at an edge test at difficulty 4. So the hunter can gain access to any kind of data on any subject or person.
And then it's the global access perk.
Right. So so you need to do... Oh, yeah, the perk is the all access pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so difficulty is determined by the storytelling, and it depends on the security sophistication. It's usually between 3 and 5. We'll keep it at 4.
Okay.
So it's difficulty 4, tech int.
Okay. Two, and I need to spend some willpower.
Roll well.
3, 4.
Okay,
Hey.
just enough.
Woo.
So you know that it's in the main building.
Yep.
You know that there are multiple ways in. Obviously, you probably don't go through the front, which is still lit up. You can tell there's still people in the reception area working. So I'll say, Maria, why don't you go ahead and roll the stealth then? kind of leading the way, since Elaine is kind of doing the subterfuge here. So why don't you roll a stealth plus dex?
Oh boy. I am
and-
going to take that dice that we got earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've got 1 in each of those, so
Okay.
would like to roll at least 3.
It was DJ Quiver, I think, who dropped that off.
And then I'm gonna spend a willpower. I got an 8, a 10, and a 2, so I'm gonna re-roll the 2, see if I can get that over. And I got an 8,
Gotcha.
so 3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, and again, it's all going to be contested. So
Yeah, it's the best I can do.
3, you said? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Rolled 3 dice, got 3 successes.
So we'll say the two of you work your way around back towards that gardened area, and you find one of the sort of smaller entrances. There are like a lot of the doors were left open during the day, but now at night things are closed. It's not completely shut down. There's still people here. You can still see that there's people moving about, but there's probably a third, maybe even a fourth of the amount of people working here that there were during the day, and there's not nearly as many. There's no visitors anymore, so it's like much quieter. So you find your way out back. You find one of these other doors. You kind of get up, kind of next to it, get out maybe some of your, whatever kind of little pack you have, and Maria, you are kind of keeping an eye on things. Whenever looks like a security path happens, you see the flashlights on the ground. You kind of, three of you duck. Elaine, you're kind of cycling through it, and eventually you get the sort of the go button, and then you can see that the pad turns green, and all of a sudden the electrical lock goes unlocked. You push in. Now, you know that there are main elevators. You know that there are side elevators that are kind of more. You know that those side elevators are sometimes used for people running food, or sometimes they're used for maintenance, kind of going up and down. But you also know that at least that elevator is obscured from the main reception desk area where you first came in, whereas all the normal elevators are just and there's no way to stealth to that.
Right up front, yeah.
There's also stairs you could potentially find your way up as well. So how are you getting up to floor 5?
Stairs or maintenance elevator?
I think stairs, because even maintenance elevators, there's noise and
Yeah.
whatnot associated with the fact that somebody's moving around. So
Okay.
I say stairs. It
All right.
takes longer, but hopefully stealthier.
That's fine. So you sneak around, and again, rolling over your stealth, you kind of hide whenever you hear sounds of footsteps, and you can hear it at a distance. There's this vague, very faint music that's being played that you can hear probably in someone who's doing the night manager or something like that, probably just has at their desk, but it's so quiet that it's kind of echoing, and it's covering some of your movements here and there, but you can still hear the echo of footsteps as you move. Eventually you get to the door. There's a stairwell. Push it open. You start moving up the stairs. So the stairs themselves are up, landing, reverse, back up, landing, reverse, back up. When you get to the landing of the second floor, you realize you're not alone in this stairwell. And you're taking those last steps up. You didn't really see anyone, but right as you're about to take the third or the third to last step before you get to that landing between the second and the third floor, you notice that there is a woman standing on the landing. Her back is to you and is right into the corner, and you can tell that she's got what looks like a gown on, a nightgown. Looks like a patient, you're pretty sure. And then you can see the stairs are right kind of behind her going up to the third floor. And her hair is frazzled and disheveled, and you can tell it's kind of hanging down behind. It hangs probably halfway down her back. You can see a small lump in her back. You can tell she's probably got some sort of scoliosis issue. And as you get a little closer, you can hear her very, very faintly. mumbling to herself.
Maria's just sort of going to shoot a look over to Elaine.
I think we should sneak past her, you think? Just real quick.
Yeah.
She seems like a patient in a fugue state. Or do you want to go into a different room?
Yeah, that was my first instinct, was just to sneak by.
Should we roll a new stealth test?
Oh no, you've already your stealth has already been blown as you take like 2 steps on the landing and you hear help me. Help me.
Okay.
She slowly starts to turn around. You see her hair is kind of hanging down in front, like these little strands, like this kind of black and gray strands. She's got kind of looks like liver spots and stuff like that, kind of on her temples here and there. Definitely has that kind of worn look. You'd probably peg her maybe in her mid to late 70s. As she turns around, eyes kind of look up at the two of you, completely lost. Like eyes are kind of trying. Help me.
Where's your room?
She just sort of points up.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, I'll take her with us and keep going up.
Both of you, could you make a roll for me?
Sure. Oh, goodness.
Stamina plus resolve.
Okay. Goodness. Four successes.
4.
Okay. Both of you go ahead and take 3 superficial willpower damage.
What?
4 is a fail.
Oh shit. Oh, can I re-roll? I saw.
Oh yeah, if you got that, yeah, you could burn your willpower for it. Sure.
Oh, okay. You said that was 3, right?
Yeah, it's 3 superficial willpower.
5.
I will spend 1 to
Coincidental.
reroll one of them.
Okay, go ahead.
And now I have 5. Yes.
Oh, well, look at that. How convenient. Okay.
Great, guys.
How convenient. So you both have 5?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and take 2 superficial willpower damage.
Okay.
So
Okay.
much willpower damage.
Ooh.
So you tell her you'll help her, and she kind of like situates herself between the two of you, and you start kind of walking up the stairs to the next floor. I'm gonna kick over to Alvin and
Oh,
Quixote.
I want to ask her her name.
We're gonna go over to Alvin and Quixote. You guys are sneaking through again. I'm just gonna roll over your stealths. We don't need to re-roll them. As you're trying to get towards the clubhouse, you've passed by, we'll probably say maybe a dozen trailers at this point. Just passing glances, same sort of deal before. They all look, dark. They all look like they're abandoned in some way. Oh, Chuck, thank you for the raid. Defenders are raiding. Are we late? Oh, yeah, we are late. It's 9:30. My bad. Sorry, I got excited. My bad. Okay, we'll cut soon. Sorry. You're wandering, getting closer and closer. All of a sudden, all of the lights in the complex go out. All of the street lights go completely dark. And the two of you and Rena hear what sounds like a horn. Sounds like a loud kind of car horn or bus horn go off.
Can we get onto the top of one of these trailers and lay flat?
Sure. I'll say give me an athletics test We'll say this is like a 2, and as long as you pass, you don't make any kind of noise or leave any, or like knock anything down on the way up.
Athletics dexterity or athletics strength?
Either, whatever one you prefer.
Athletic strength, 5 dice. Oh, crap. That's only 1 success, so I will spend a willpower.
I have 8. Can I just take half?
Yeah, you're good.
3 successes.
Okay, the 2 you get up, Alvin, you do so without much. You just kind of grab the edge of the trailer with your hands and just sort of do a quick pull up, and you're up there. Coyote, it's a little more labored, but you get up there. You're fine. And the 2 of you lay down. Maybe someone reaches down. Rena gets up. You all lay down on top. Okay. You're still not right next to the clubhouse. There's still a couple more rows, and as you're up here, you're getting a little better view. And it's like whoever designed this place had no intention of making the roads navigatable. Like now that you're in here, it almost feels kind of maze-like. The lights are still very, very dark, but you can tell that there is everything's still very dark, but you can tell that there is a light in the distance, and you can see it's over by the clubhouse. The clubhouse seems to be lit up, and you notice then that there's something moving, and you see what looks like a large kind of private bus, and it's got all these different like orange lights around the side, and it's kind of pulling up in the direction of the clubhouse, and you could hear the sounds of the horn going off, and that seems to be what's making the sound. You also notice that it's kind of pulling up into this parking lot area right outside of the clubhouse. There's all this empty space. You can see that there's lights on all throughout that building. It's kind of a beacon in some ways. And you're watching as people are kind of filing out of it. There's like dozens of people. Like this huge crowd is starting to form what looks like around this bus that's going up. What do you guys want to do?
Where's this crowd forming out of? Like, are they coming out of their homes?
They're coming out of the
bus?
clubhouse.
The
Some of them
clubhouse.
seem to just, like, you can see some people looks like they've been moving away from their houses and kind of closing in.
So the question Coyote would have in his mind, and I definitely have in my mind, does it look like they're waiting to get on the bus, or does it look like they're waiting to tear something out of the bus?
Kyote, you would probably do some quick math in your head and piece together that there are way too many people outside and around to fit on that bus.
Alvin, there's something wrong with this. They can't be going anywhere in that bus.
This feels so weird. What's even happening?
I don't know. Let's see if we can get closer.
Okay. All right. Now I will ask for another stealth test as you're getting much closer now. And while you're doing that, we'll kick back over to Elaine and Maria.
Yeah.
You get up to the 3rd floor. You just went up another 10 steps, and you feel her like curve her hand around each of your arms, like this cold, bony hand around each of your arms, and like almost like a death grip. It's not hurting or anything like that, but you can tell like she's clinging, like she's struggling as you're helping her up the stairs. And you get to the door to the 3rd floor.
All
What do
right,
you two do?
here you go.
She kind of looks up at you. Help me?
What's your name, ma'am?
She turns back over to you. Help me?
And
Oh.
Maria's
Ah!
over to Lane. Just kind of whisper, like, take her with us.
I guess. Yeah.
So we've got 2 more floors to go.
Okay. So do you pull her up? You kind of pull her along with you to go up to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Both of you make a stamina plus resolve.
Huh.
So
Good.
funny. I had both of these places built up. I didn't realize we were going to be doing them at the same time.
I only have 1 success and I don't have any more willpower to spend.
Oh no. I've got one more willpower to spend. I've got 4 successes right now.
Okay.
You're gonna have to hold the phone.
Nope. I only got 4.
All right. Maria, take 3 points of superficial. Elaine, take. You said you only had 1 success.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude. That's 6 points of superficial willpower damage.
I can't take any more except for I can take 2 more of those.
So now
Okay,
it becomes
and then
not
now it becomes
superficial.
aggravated as you go back through it.
I'm aggravated. Those 2 that I got were aggravated.
Yeah, but now you do
I'm-
the second slash on the ones that were superficial.
Yeah, I'm full up. I only have 4 willpower.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh no.
So what does that mean?
Oh, I'll tell you. Well, basically, you're going to lose control of Elaine here in a minute for
Yeah.
a little while.
No.
Maria, you rolled a 4. So it's going to be 3 points of superficial. How are you doing?
I've got 3 aggravated and 4 superficial, so I've got room.
You do have
to
room?
do
You have,
this.
have you become impaired? Has your whole bar filled up?
It's filled up, but not with aggravated.
But you're still impaired. Impaired is filling it
okay.
up no matter what.
Okay. Yes, I did fill it up.
Okay. Maria, you feel there is nothing more important in your life or in this world than helping this woman. And that is all that goes through your mind. Whatever you can do, please help this woman.
Okay.
Elaine, you reach down, you kind of pluck the hand off of your arm.
Uh-huh.
You turn around. You don't even say anything to Maria. Zombie-like fugue state. And you just start walking down the stairs. You walk down to the first floor. Door opens up. Maria, you don't care anymore.
No.
All you care about is helping this woman out. As the 2 of you continue to ascend the stairs. Elaine, you kind of walk back the way you came. You have a vague hearing of the actual radio. And then you kind of open the door. You have, again, no real understanding of what you're doing. And you just start kind of walking into the darkness towards the mountain.
Elaine!
We're going to come back to Alvin and Quixote. How did that stealth test go?
Pretty good for me. I got 2 10s and 9 and a 7 for 6 successes.
That is phenomenal. Okay, how'd you do, Alvin?
I just got 3.
Okay,
Stealth is
still
his
3.
jam.
Yeah, that's very, very good. Okay, so if you get a little bit closer to the point where you're kind of maybe the last row or 2 of these trailers before that kind of big open park area where all of this huge crowd of you would guess there's, now that you're getting closer, you're seeing more people starting to like come out from between some of the dark of the trailers here and there. There's got to be maybe 200 people, something like that. You hear like the humming of the bus, and then you hear from the, like, you're close enough, it's dead quiet. Like they're not saying anything. No one's saying a word. And you can see all of them. They all look to have, like, it's very dark, but there's some running lights on the bus, and there's some light kind of glowing down from the clubhouse, and you can tell that these are all probably inhabitants of this place, like community members. They have kind of that sort of retirement feel to them here and there. They're dressed like, they're not dressed in like nightgowns or anything like that. They're dressed in, shorts.
How many go-karts?
No, there's nothing like that. It's just them. Everyone's standing. Everyone's watching.
Ew.
And the 2 of you hear a and you see the door of the bus open up. And you see one of the people down on the ground kind of steps up into the bus. Moments later, they step back out, and you can see they're leading what looks like this train of people. It's dark. You get some contours, you can get some numbers, but it's hard to get any real specifics about who they are. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 20 people get out of the bus, not counting the one who went on. You hear the door closes. You see the bus start to drive around like it's going to do this massive U-turn, getting ready to leave. Meanwhile, the crowd kind of makes this U, and like that a couple of people come up and they're like kind of, you can tell they're cutting through what looks like hands and things like that, like these bindings. And then you hear, like, you see one of them kind of hold something up, and then you just hear like the sound of a blaring horn, and then just a streak of, like, as fast as they can but confused, all 20 of the people who got off the bus just start running in random directions. And they're just kind of like disappear, like they're just running, or some of them are going away from you, some are going by you. You see a couple kind of run right past where you're at, like you can see them coming, and they have disheveled clothes on. They look horribly worse for wear. Quixote, you recognize this look. You know what who these people are. And you're waiting, like you look back, and there in the middle of the parking lot, that huge crowd of almost 200 people are just kind of waiting. Horn goes off once more, and all of a sudden, like perfect synchronicity, all of them just suddenly get to a squat. Every single one of them are just like suddenly squatting down, and they burst out and start running in all sorts of different directions into the neighborhood. And we'll end there, and we'll pick up on that the next time around.
God.
Oh,
No.
wow. We're in
Oh,
so
my
much
We're all
trouble.
so fucked. Are you kidding me? You guys are about to die to vampires. I'm about to get eaten on the mountain.
I don't think they're vampires. I don't know what they are, but they were out during the daylight.
They're like changelings or something.
Yeah.
From
Oh
hunters to
my
hunted.
There's
gosh.
something.
Oh my god.
All right. That
Yes, this
was
is-
fun.
So
Oh my
good.
Dude, I have all these I remember having this is something I saw once when I was 19 or so.
Mhm.
And I remember because my grandmother lived in one of these types of places, and I used to go visit her all the time and stuff. And like I remember seeing like this crowd once outside of the clubhouse of one of these, and like there was like this bus, like a shuttle bus, and there's a big old crowd around it. And I just found it to be the creepiest looking thing, because it was like 9:00 at night. It was dark. I'm like, what the hell is going? Nope, I don't even want to know. And I've always remembered that. And it's like all these years later. Oh goodness, just wondering what the hell were they doing? Nothing good.
Very,
Nothing good.
very,
good.
very bad things. Very
Oh,
bad.
all around.
I gotta tell you, I was really surprised that this was happening. Like, I'm not kidding. I had both these things. I'm like, okay, like we're running these at the same time. We're running these at the same time.
Yes.
Okay, here we go.
Hey, when it comes to splitting the party, we know how to do it right.
I love splitting the party, so I think it's great. All right, let's get out of here. Aaron, tell us what's going on in Garblag.
Let's see, on Garblag, on Monday, we've got Ben running some City of Mist. On Tuesday, Millie's going to be running Coriolis. On Wednesday, Jim will be back running Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th Edition, Once Upon a Time in the Old World, where my poor Knight of the White Wolf has run into a bit of trouble. Maybe he'll get out of it. Thursday during the day is the beginning of Lewis running the One Ring. And then Thursday night, we'll be back for Achtung Cthulhu as we face off against some supernatural horrors in Tibet. There will be no Blades in the Dark on Friday because a couple of the cast are going to be gone. But that's Garblag next week.
All right. Let's see. And we did have a really good Blades session today, which will probably drop at some point on Garblag's YouTube. What about us here? Let's see. Tomorrow we got One Ring 2nd edition as per usual. Let's see. Monday we're going to be doing Holler for Savage Worlds. Tuesday is the new game. You can catch Ashley and I and our friend Steven, who's running it, as we're playing some Haunted West. And then next Friday, we will be back to Mothership. And in 2 weeks, we will return with the massacre that this is going to be separate massacres. But yeah, I'm honestly not sure who's in worse shape right now. Like that's that's a lie. I would
rolling over Rust's 75% down.
Yeah.
This is going to be 100%.
I just did a quick look to see if anyone was playing any kind of World of Darkness stuff. I found a werewolf game, so we're going to go ahead and raid them. So hang tight, follow the raid. Thank you for everyone who joined tonight. Thank you for the subs. Thank you for the hype train in the very beginning. It was very, 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 very fun. And for those of you who are watching this later on YouTube or listening to this on podcast, we definitely appreciate it. We'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.